So you're wearing a wig because you are dealing with brain cancer.
I have brain cancer.
Now, why did you decide to get that? Was it something you've always wanted?
No, I just wanted to be more special.
You wanted, so it's just something you as a little girl just sort of dreamed of one day going to LA?
It just sort of found me. Like, it wasn't something that I was.
So did you think it was like the universe, karma?
I was just like, I was seeking my purpose.
Did you dream journal about it, or did you have a vision board of having brain cancer?
I don't know. Things were just going. I was like, I had just come off a series regular role. I was getting married, and I was like, I need something else in my life.
Missing. Success, love are good, but you know what would be great? Brain cancer.
Yeah, a really serious illness.
What kind of brain cancer? I know you've referred to it as awesome, but what is the scientific name of your brain cancer?
Awesome. The type of, so people get very confused about like, is it a brain tumor or is it brain cancer? And I'm like, okay, so there's 120 different kinds of brain tumors.
Do you hope that at some point in your life you'll get to experience all of them a little bit?
No,
you're good?
Absolutely not.
You're just good with one?
I'm good.
That's
I have
fair.
I have a very cool one, and I'll tell you what it's called.
Okay.
It's called astrocytoma.
Astrocytoma. That actually,
it's pretty cool.
It's kind of a cool sound. I mean, I like Astro Burger.
Yeah, and it sounds celestial, which is like exactly what I was going for.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it.
If I could wish for cancer. So I was like, so astrocytes they're actually star-shaped nerve cells in your brain. So like there's this whole umbrella of brain cells called or brain tumors called gliomas.
Gliomas. Yeah, I was doing some research before and I saw there was a lot of,
so nice of you.
Gliomas. Yeah.
So gliomas is the broad
None
umbrella.
Of them sounded great.
No. So anytime you have a tumor in your head, like think about it this way. Like if you just get a tumor like in your knee or something, there's like room for it to grow and it's not going to kill you, right? But like you put a tumor in like the center of your entire system and there's no room for it because there's a skull.
What I've generally tried to do is thought of the brain as sort of like you just kind of generally you don't want anything to grow in there.
You don't want anything else in there because there's no room.
There's not a lot of room.
There's no room.
And that's the only reason. Other than that, it would be wonderful.
Honestly, fine. They told me, whatever, like move on in.
Put it in Arwar.
Put it inside. So they told me it had been growing for like 3 or 4 years.
Fuck.
So it was like the size of...
That's in New York? Because you moved out here from New York about 3 years.
It's my fucking New York brain tumor.
You got like an Italian New York brain tumor.
Yeah, and probably New York gave me brain cancer. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
No offense. Mo.
I don't know. You know what it is? I forgot that my phone, I turn off that, but then because I'm really techie over here, I got the phone goes into the computer. Like, you don't care. It's not as important as the brain cancer thing.
Clearly people are trying to get in contact with Mo.
Okay, so nobody. That is my mom asking about the engagement. So because you're the healthiest person in the building.
In the building, at least.
You know, Emily lives in the building, and she is like lifestyle-wise, you're the healthiest. You're the only one who jogs.
I eat quinoa.
You're quinoa.
I jog every day.
This is some bullshit.
Yeah, straight up bullshit. So yeah, there was no reason. I had a rogue astrocyte brain cell that exploded in my brain and was like, "We're gonna duplicate." And
so how did you find out?
I had an enormous seizure.
Oh.
Yeah. I've never had one. Don't even actually, I don't know what to tell you about it because I wasn't there. Like I just kind of passed out.
Do you have any memory of it?
No.
Like what's your last memory and then your next memory after the blank?
My last memory is I felt kind of weird. So there's a thing that happens before you have seizures, and I didn't know about this until I started talking to people about seizures, and you get an aura, which also sounds celestial, which I'm like, why?
This whole thing seems like it was invented at Burning Man.
And this is why I have unicorn hair now.
Right. Which, by the way, I love. How fucking hot is this hair? Let's leave in the comments. It's very, very sexy.
I feel like
I don't want to say worth it, but still, it's very sexy. It's very sexy.
Look, let's just have fun with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what everyone says. Let's have fun with it. So yeah, I remember I felt like really weird. I felt like somebody was following me, and I was like, I had been out for a run, and I was like looking over my shoulder, like someone's fucking following me, like a weirdo. And my last thought was like,
wow, that is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
because something's just like, what is that?
Well, I'll tell you why. So I was looking over my left shoulder because I kept seeing something like in my left periphery, and then my brain just kind of like started firing and being like, "You're insane! Like you know, they're gonna come take you away. Like basically your whole system is like firing all at the same time and like telling you all this shit, and it's just telling you like run for cover, like something bad is happening, right?
Because maybe it's because it's like literally the fear thing in your brain is being triggered somehow. Maybe
it's just electricity, so it's just like firing. And the reason that there's like different grades of seizures, and what you want to avoid is what they call, it used to call
grand mal.
Yeah, now it's called tonic clonic. I don't know why.
Is it like Prince? It like rebranded itself?
Yeah, rebranded.
Okay. The seizure formerly known as grand mal.
Formerly known as grand mal, which means large bad in French. So maybe that's why.
Oh
they
yeah,
changed it.
Mal. Yeah, I took 5 years of French. I remember that.
Yeah, really big and bad. So anyway,
you know, I had a seizure one time.
You did?
I think I'm almost positive, and it was not as dramatic as yours. It was in this apartment. Do you remember back in the day?
Here.
You remember like a year ago, I asked you to come up here and help me with something because I had like a hemorrhoid and I couldn't take my dog for a walk or something.
Yeah, I remember. You were really embarrassed about that.
It was embarrassing. I had such a bad hemorrhoid, I couldn't walk the dogs. I had to like lie down in the bathtub.
I was like,
it was very, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, obviously relatively, but so anyway, I had a doctor friend of mine who was like, dude, I'll just write you a prescription for some lidocaine, which is like a serious
it's a
numbing
agent. Yeah.
And so it was, I mean, I'm not like such a pussy about pain, but this was like really fucked up. It was like, it was called, what's it called? Thrombosed hemorrhoid. Like it was really bad. And so it was like, just put it on like twice during a day. And I put it on like 6 times in the course of like, because I woke in the middle of the night. I put it on in the bathroom. All of a sudden, I just remember being like hot, gushing sweat.
Oh shit.
I didn't know what was going on. And I woke up literally doubled on in my bathtub like this because I was trying to get into the shower with my dog barking at me.
Oh,
so I don't know. I think
left.
it was like a seizure or something because it could cause seizures according to the hemorrhoid cream.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Look, if it causes seizures, don't take too much of it. I think that's the deal.
I threw it away.
It's very bad. It's a very bad thing to happen. It's basically just like your brain just is like, no, and it just overloads and everything. So yeah.
So you were jogging home. You knew some. It felt like someone.
I felt something really bad. I was like, they're gonna lock me up and take me away. Like I'm crazy. It's not.
You were like, what's her name? Who you look a little like? You could be that type. Claire Danes in Homeland.
I like that. Except that she has like a really. Is it bad to say? I don't want to like badmouth her. I really love her as an actor, but her cry is really.
She's got like an annoying cry. It's an annoying cry.
It goes deep.
You know what's strange though? Some people just are annoying when they cry.
Yeah.
I've had girlfriends before when they cry and it's so horrible. I'm like, man, it's almost like hilarious
You're
right
like,
now.
I've been told that I'm really beautiful when I cry.
I'm sure you are. You're very beautiful in general.
Well, that's
you're,
nice
you're
of
a
you,
beautiful, beautiful person. On your wedding day, I was sitting next to Marcia Gay Harden.
Ugh.
A famous actress, the best. And I was sitting next to her, and she was looking at me. She's like, "She's a radiant star." She said so. She doesn't talk like that, but you know, she's got kind of like an actressy sort of.
She's kind of like that though. She's like she was like I don't know. She's so eloquent and like gracious. I love her.
She has a regal quality. Okay, so you had a seizure. I was gone. I remember hearing about it.
Yeah.
And you guys then. So after that, you wake up and you're just like, what the fuck?
Well, I called Adam, my husband.
Yeah.
I called Adam and was like, I think I said I can't tell if I'm awake or not, and I need you to come home.
And that's never a good thing to hear someone say, unless you're like really fucking high, and it means,
which is not like ever the case with me. So it was like he was very alarmed. He came home like within 2 minutes. Luckily, he was like on his way home from the gym, so he was like, "I'll be there in a second." And by the time he got back, I was like sitting on the kitchen floor, and he just moved me to the bedroom, and that's all I remember. And that basically at that point
So you hadn't had the seizure yet.
I hadn't had the seizure yet. I was having an aura, and then as soon as he came home, I have no memory of anything happening. But I guess he just like I started having a seizure, and he called 911, and then he had to like. It was intense for him. But they broke in through the front, and they took me to the ER.
Well, did he have to like? Did he try to like hold your tongue from going down? Because that's what everybody's taught about seizures. Yeah. But I don't think you're actually supposed to do that.
You're not, because you could choke. And because you're like flailing, I guess.
Well, because I was one time at the Improv, and this girl I think was on drugs or something. I don't know. She never told me exactly what was going on. I think she must have been on it. She started having a seizure, and I put my hand in her thing, and she fucking bit my finger so hard,
dude.
And someone was telling me, "Oh no, you can get your finger bit off like that."
Yeah,
like
no shit. Don't put your finger in there.
Don't put your finger in there.
If a new album, my next album.
Yeah, there's one thing I want you to remember on this interview, guys. It's "Don't put your finger in there" from Emily Tyra.
It's the title of my book.
So you go to the hospital.
So they take me away. Yeah. I guess I had another seizure in the ambulance.
You were just an ambitious seizure.
I was, like I said, I go
hard.
I go big. If I'm going to do something.
Go hard, yeah.
Yeah. I remember waking up in the ER very briefly and being told that they needed to move me to another hospital. And I later found out that they were like aggressively trying to get my consent to move me because I'm an adult and my mom and Adam were there and we weren't married at the time. And so like the doctor was like adamant, like we need her to tell us it's okay. And at the time I was on so many drugs. I was like, cool. Like,
wait, really? Like legally that is more binding for someone who's like totally out of it
I guess they like need your consent to perform any medicine on you.
Right.
If you are available to consent. I don't know. It was like, I wasn't really there.
Right.
Anyway, then I woke up at USC Keck Hospital
wonderful
in the
school.
Neurosurgery. Wonderful
and a
school.
Good hospital too.
Very nice. And what hilariously, I did that show Code Black where I played a TB doctor.
Yeah, Emily, tell them about that. So when we first got to know each other, you were a doctor on TV.
TV doctor. I'm also I'm a recurring cast member of your podcasts. I feel.
Yeah, this is your second on this one, and then you're also on the other one, the full release.
So I feel like people are getting to know me on all levels.
I'm so happy.
Most listeners.
We've been giving the full release some updates. Tell them that you're doing well.
That's so
you're fighting
nice.
hard.
Thank you.
I'm
learning more medical jargon than I really want to know.
But you really are an amazing person. I mean, I've always sort of thought of you as like this strong. Like I was a little intimidated when you first moved in. I remember first time I saw you had like a leather jacket.
Oh,
and you were, you're pretty strikingly beautiful. And you were sort of like, I sort of said hi in the hallway, and you were sort of like, you kind of like sneered, which wasn't.
Sneered?
It was not that friendly.
It's a full sneer.
It was a sneer. But you're a beautiful, vivacious person, and then like the way you've been like handling this is just incredible. You're fucking planning on running a marathon, aren't you?
Marathon? No way.
In Twitter, you said something about you're running something.
I'm running a 5K.
5K is a lot. If you've got brain cancer, 5K is a marathon. I think that's the conversion rate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how that counts.
It. Well, there's a really cool thing. So, I mean, I guess anytime I feel like we were all at this point. We have all had a brush with cancer, right? Like either like you're like my uncle has cancer, or like whatever,
right.
Your mom or whatever, somebody that has been through it, or you've had like a test come back, scary. Anybody, we can all relate.
We're old enough to know that life's fucking horrifying,
and it can be very, very short. Like we're all dying. We're all just dying at different rates, right? So
I remember some quote one time where someone said, "Life itself is a sexually transmitted disease," which is kind of cool,
but like a fun one.
It can be. It depends on
as long as it's not itchy.
Right, exactly. The problem is you can get that disease too. It's not like there's many diseases you can get.
At least it's not itchy. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Don't put your finger in there.
Don't put your finger in there, and at least it's not itchy.
Remember these things, people.
So. There's a 5K. The American Brain Tumor Association is doing a 5K for brain tumors, and you can like make a team and people can join you, and you can either walk or run, and then you just like raise money for the American Brain Tumor Association, which is a really cool program that provides funding for like research and stuff. There's just like so much we don't know about the brain. Like we just don't talk about it. We don't even talk about it in its like useful context.
From what I heard is we only use 10% of our brain. Isn't that right?
I think actively, like on a daily basis.
And we don't know. You know what's kind of crazy? I was reading the other day. 95% of our thoughts are subconscious. Like our actions and stuff are subconscious.
Yeah, they're on autopilot. So, for example,
that's nuts.
I had a craniotomy, so that they like cut my skull open and removed this brain tumor, or as much of this brain tumor as they could. And when you go through something like that, first let me explain why I was experiencing somebody following me on my left side. So my brain tumor is on my right parietal lobe.
Was it creepy Carl, the guy who lives down the street?
Oh my God. There's a creep on our street?
I'm just saying.
Don't tell me shit like that. I'm like,
well, you look at the street, there's a lot of fucking creeps on the street.
Ugh, I know.
All right, so go on. Anyway. So you had a thing on your right side?
On the right parietal lobe, which controls it controls my left motor function and my like left periphery, my brain's like ability to tell right versus left and up versus down, my spatial awareness. So my right parietal, where the tumor was where the seizure originated, was like firing like crazy. So I was experiencing a change in my peripheral vision on my left side. That's why I was feeling like someone's following me.
Man.
Okay.
So like, it's like teeny little, and this tumor must be like.
It was the size of a golf ball.
Oh, so that's pretty big. I was going to say it's tiny, but it's still doing that. But fuck, the size of a golf ball?
Yeah, like 4 centimeters around.
You don't even...
Big guy.
Damn.
Yeah.
You don't even have a very big head, I was going to say.
I know.
You have a pretty like legitimate...
Like a small ballerina's dainty lady head.
Yeah, it's a very dainty head.
Not room. There's no room in there for that.
There's no room for golf balls.
No room. Anyway.
No one can tell. You don't have to be a doctor to know that.
Yeah.
So... You wake up and you don't know right away what it is, right? They're just sort of like, we're transferring you. How long after the seizure did you know, okay, you have a tumor?
Somebody told me in the ER when they were getting my consent, they're like, there's something on your CT scan, which at that point I was like, okay, and
right.
then I didn't really it didn't really sink in for me until a neurosurgeon came in with an MRI. I got an MRI in the middle of the night when I was transferred, and they brought in a whatever, the monitor, and they were like, and here's this being that's been living in your brain, and they explained to me what it was in very dry medical terms.
So that's what I was going to ask you, because that's got to be one of the hardest things you ever have to say to somebody else, right?
Yeah, except that the way that it's said, first of all, the neurosurgical resident who performed surgery on my brain along with the rest of the surgical team is gorgeous and my age, and was just this beautiful creature telling me you have this
guy or girl?
Girl. And she was she just explained it in very scientific medical terms, where she was yeah, it appears to be an astrocytoma. We won't know until we do the pathology, but these are, it looks to be about a grade 2. They can, they can progress. She just was
so
very...
You couldn't have an emotional reaction as much because you don't quite know what she's saying?
I have no idea what she's saying, and I'm going...
Despite all your experience as a TV doctor.
Right, and which is my performance of that would have been
dun, dun, dun.
And Miss Tyra... How are the scrambled eggs? That's great. We just are here to let you know that everything is going to be okay. And I would have just been
real doctors don't have time to.
No, they're really interested in cell growth, and especially neurosurgeons. They're really this is what they do.
Right. And they have to have that conversation probably all day.
Yeah, and honestly, they're not there to give you a prognosis. They're just there to tell you what's going on. So because they can't, they have to go in, surgically remove what they can, put it through the pathology, and then you talk to an oncologist and a radiologist, and then they tell you here's what's going on. So that's way further down the line. At this point, I just know that there's this foreign object in my head, and they have to get it out ASAP.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
And I'm well, I need to get my hair done. And straight up, my hairdresser, shout out to Alex, came to my hospital room and was she colored my hair the night before I had my craniotomy.
Really?
Yeah, in the hospital room. It was awesome. We ordered sushi. My whole family was there. It was honestly, I have really great memories of the hospital. I was this is great. I was on so many drugs.
Yeah.
Somebody just came in and was did you pee? And I was yes. It was just very easy.
You peed in bed?
No, in the bed?
Yeah.
Ew, no.
I don't know. I mean, just if you're in the hospital, you just get that whole experience. I mean, getting to pee in a bucket.
I mean, I guess I did have a lot of other strange. There are strange ways to pee in the hospital, but yeah, it was great. Honestly.
That's insane. That is insane.
It wasn't great. It was
but you got, you had a lot of support, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And online, I know everybody was, not that that shit matters, but there's a lot of people who are saying beautiful things.
It's nice. Anybody saying something positive to you when you're going through something like that is really wonderful. And so I had a long stream of that, and still do have that. So I've been very lucky. I also was really lucky that nothing happened when I had a seizure, and Adam was here.
Right.
And, there's so many, for me at that point, I was wow, there are so many ways I could have died just before getting to this point. Yeah. So I was
a seizure, say you have that seizure while you're running,
driving,
you hit your head on. Oh yeah, driving. So you can't drive now. Are you allowed to drive or no?
Not yet. I will be soon. I will be allowed to drive soon.
So when do you get the license back?
End of October.
Oh, you're just gonna go fucking nuts.
I'm kind of I don't know. I'm so hot and cold about it. I've really been enjoying Ubering around town.
Yeah. Met
a lot of weird people. I
had an Uber yesterday, and he was a rapper. Shout out Big Nick, Big Nick the rapper, and It was so funny, man. I was like literally talking to him. We were talking about, whatever his rap career. And then he hit me up online. I was like, this dude's pretty fucking good. There's like so many talented people in LA. Just your average like Uber driver should be a famous rap star.
Hiding out underground.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, LA is just a cloud of talent waiting to be discovered.
Not all of them have beautiful pink hair.
Not all of them look like they've eaten several cupcakes and pooped them out of their head.
Look like a walking starburst.
That's
what you should call your astrocytoma, a starburst. That's a fun way to think of it.
That's cool.
If you had to name your brain tumor, what would you call it? Like, have you thought about that?
Yeah, people keep asking me that. Actually,
really? I was so proud of myself for thinking about that earlier today.
Well, it's kind of a thing, I guess, to like, I don't know, to name somebody that you don't want around. But I guess when I was going to the OR, I did two things. I asked the surgeons what their favorite color was, because I was going to make them like gifts after the
you
surgery.
have this feeling like I had to get the vocal cord surgery thing like 2 years ago, which obviously like a super minor surgery, but it didn't feel minor. Like anytime they put you out, it's scary as shit.
Major, yeah.
I just remember trying to kiss the ass of every surgeon I was around. I was like, hey, please don't purposely kill me while I'm asleep. Because it's like they have
your life is literally in their hands.
You, it's like they're in your motherfucking head.
Yeah, I was sort of in awe of them, and I still am. I'm sort of like, they make me a bit weepy. Like, I think they're really truly heroes. Anyway, they joined my 5K team, so I feel honored.
Oh, really? That's cool. No, they are heroes. Surgeons are like what they do in an everyday. Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend does like penis surgeries, but still,
dude, that's true heroism. Like, if you're dealing with that kind of anatomy, like if you fuck that shit up.
I was gonna say, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I would imagine like if you're a surgeon and you fuck up any operation, that the penis is probably like the one where you're most likely to get murdered if you fuck it up. Really
yeah, it's going to be really dark for you.
People are going to have a hard time with,
not great.
With that.
If you're in the brain and you fuck it up, you could like just go like memory erase.
Right. They have that in every hospital. They have that Men in Black thing. They could just sort of
just I don't know. Yeah. So I asked them what color that they liked.
Yeah.
And then I ended up making them ceramic planters after.
Oh, that was so sweet of you.
Super nice. It was fun. And then I asked them if I could, first of all, see the tumor and or keep it.
No, you fucking did not.
I was like, can I keep it?
Bizarre. Why the hell would you want
Because
that?
I was on a lot of drugs. Like, this is what happens when you're in the hospital. They like pump you up with drugs, and then they're like, you said this in the hospital. And you're like, yeah, I fucking said
Do you currently want it? Do you kind of wish you had it?
Absolutely not. I donated it to research. So they have it. But I was like...
I donated it to Tumors of Love. It's like locks of love for people who
cast them in gold and then bedazzle them. They kept it for research, and I said, is it going to go in a jar that says Abby? Because I was thinking about the movie Young Frankenstein, where what's his name with the hump, Igor. He goes, he's like, which Gene Wilder's like, which brain did you put in his head? And he's like, name was Abby, Abby normal, and it's abnormal. So I was like.
That was pretty good. That was fun watching you do that.
Do you like
How much of the movie would you be willing to do for us right now? I feel like you did it pretty good. That was pretty good.
I like doing Madeline Kahn, like no matter what she's doing. And
I don't know if I even ever saw Young Frankenstein.
Oh, is so good? Oh my God, it's so good. Also, Clue is also one of my favorite movies.
Clue?
Yes. When Madeline Kahn is like, I hated her so much. The flames burning on the sides of my face. I hated her. I hated her. She goes through this whole. It's like they give her so much screen time.
Who is Madeline Kahn? I don't even know. Like, what would I know her most? I know you're very disappointed right now. You're very disappointed. Here, drink some of your soda. It matches your hair.
How many like old school vaudevillian female comics do you know?
None.
Right.
I'm gonna go with none.
Clearly,
she's vaudeville age.
She was like.
She's not 800 years old?
No, but she does this kind of like Lucille Ball type of physical comedy.
I hear
you know
what
what I mean?
Yeah,
like she was sort of in this like pre-Gilda Radner kind of female comic characters.
I'll have to watch Clue. It's very rare for someone to say, you know what movie I love? That one based on a board game. That is not something you hear often. Did you like
Tim Curry is in it. It's amazing.
All right, that is a solid cast.
You should watch it.
Have you ever seen the Battleship movie?
No, but I'm willing to bet it's pretty entertaining.
Let's do an all board game movie night in this building.
Just saw a really great movie, if I may pitch it.
Yeah, pitch it.
Good Boys.
Good Boys. Oh, I hear that it's hilarious. Yeah.
It's so good. It is so funny.
Seth Rogen's so fucking talented.
He's I mean, it's just...
I think he's going to do very well here.
You think?
I was once in an acting class with his wife, Lauren Rogen.
Yeah.
At the time, I don't think they were married, but it was so funny because like this was like a long time ago, and she would be like, yeah, she's really cool, but she would say stuff like, "Oh yeah, we had a great weekend. Oh, we met Obama, which was cool." And I'd be like, "Who? How did she?" Like she wasn't like braggy or she was super grounded and cool, but that was just her life. And then after a while, I was like, "Who is her boyfriend?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Seth Rogen." I'm like,
right?
Oh, that. Yeah, there you go. That'll get you some Obama.
I don't know. I feel like just that can never be normal, right? Like that can never just be like, oh, like on a whatever afternoon you're meeting your friend for lunch. You're like, yeah, well, we met Obama.
Right, Obama was there.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay, by the way, I shot this crazy show where where I was like the animal show. Remember that? I shot
the one with the monkey.
The monkey, and it's like there's like a scene where a woman has sex with a dog. It's like this crazy, cartoony show.
Yes.
So still waiting for Warner Brothers to sell that to somebody. But
is it not out?
No, I don't. Apparently,
when's that coming out?
Apparently, that's never going out. But they had a screening the other day. At the screening, Malia Obama, because apparently she has moved to LA to be a producer, and she's like a PA now.
I mean, I respect that so much.
Me too,
like, work your way up, dude. Go to those
so
premieres.
there's a chance Obama heard about me fighting a monkey. You know what I mean?
Let's just hope that he gets to see it.
Let's hope he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers.
Because that's that movie. My best scene in that movie is when the monkey bites my dick off.
I was going to say, doesn't he go for like the good? He goes for the goods. I recall.
One of them good testes.
I think I helped you with prepare that scene. Walking through the scene. Look.
Yes. Let's do the rest of the podcast like British women.
Let's just take it for the beats. Okay. Let's go from the ball bite.
From the ball bite.
Just for the beats.
2. So, okay, as someone who has, what's it called, astrocytoma?
Astrocytoma.
All right, and so what's the weirdest thing somebody said to you once because, when I got the text from Adam, your husband, he told me, like, oh, she got this, it's a thing. I was like, what the fuck do I, because we always have like a funny relationship where me and you are always joking around, blah, blah, blah. So, we do a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do I say? It's like, it's that weird moment. You don't want to be like, oh, this is God's, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
It's like blessings and thoughts and prayers.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
that's
weird.
what people say, and that's okay. Look, like the thing is, when you have a diagnosis like this, and whether that's like any kind of cancer, like anything really scary, people in general have no idea what to say, and they're looking to you for a cue. Right. They're kind of looking to you to like see, like if I had been like completely falling apart, people would have been like, do not worry, you are so strong. You are going to fight this. You're a fucking warrior. And I would have been like, thank you so much. But I was kind of like, this is really shitty.
So this sucks.
but like,
not ideal.
I don't know. I guess I realized about myself during that kind of immediate time, that I'm actually like extremely optimistic. And I didn't really know that about myself. Like I completely underestimated.
I would have actually, I always kind of thought of you as optimistic.
Really?
I mean,
I'm also very cynical and very like,
you are snarky. I get to the point. And yeah.
I'm a realist in a way. And
but at the same time, you were always like, after your show got canceled, you were jogging, you were always like doing pottery. You were like, and when my show got canceled, granted, you got to do 3 seasons. I did 4 episodes on the NBC series I was on. I couldn't think about it without crying. Like I was so depressed for 6 months.
Yeah, well, this wasn't my first rodeo. It's not my first like cancellation. I've been a part of like 3 Broadway shows that closed, another seris that got dropped after the first.
But also, you also have real talent, so you probably know that you'll work again. For me, I was like, I got really lucky to be here, and now I'm fine.
Actually, don't know that I'll ever work again. But this is going to do really wonderful things.
I honestly think that will. I could see you being on Glow or.
I just want to be in a
Smurfs
cartoon
movie.
I just want to be in a cartoon, so that's what I'm going for. Because then I'm like, all I have to do is show up in my pajamas.
We've booked you a great role as an anime character.
Fuck yeah, sign me up. So
the weirdest thing.
So the weird things people say. Look, people like they'll be like, "Are you allowed to eat?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm fucking allowed to eat. Are you nuts?"
Are you allowed to eat?
I'm supposed to eat.
Yeah, you should. If you're not eating, that ain't good.
Will your eyelashes fall out?
Oh, that's not stupid. That's a good question.
It's not really that dumb, right? I mean,
what is the answer to that?
No, my eyelashes are gonna fall out.
Why is but hair? That's weird though.
People do though. Well, look, it depends.
Because you said because you're wearing a wig, but you have a lot of hair right now.
I have some hair. Yeah, it's like so. The deal is, God, I can't believe I'm talking about this on your podcast. This is very revealing.
Well, you don't have to reveal it.
No, I'll tell you. Like,
I just think it's kind of.
I just haven't really talked about it because it's like, I don't know. I guess it feels like somebody being like, how's your cavity in your mouth? And I'd be like, well, I got a filling. They said that
it's boring or something?
No, I don't know. I guess it just feels like I'm telling this like treatment thing. But anyway, it is interesting, right?
To me, this is why I wanted to have you on because I was like, as someone like me who's like super neurotic and shit, I don't even like thinking the word cancer. It scares me.
Yeah, no, it's
like
scary.
Some people don't even, when someone has a disease, I know they don't even like to talk to them because they're like worried that transfers to them. Like people are nervous about this shit, but I think at the same time, like, I mean, just in my humble opinion, like who am I say, like it's kind of inspiring to me to see the way that you've just sort of like the way you've progressed through this, and you know what I mean. So I don't. I mean, what am I going to do? Like, I'm going to shut down. I'm going to close up shop. Like, you can't do that.
Of course,
but I'm sure. But I just feel like I was just like, I bet people would find this inspiring. Just someone who's like. You know what I mean?
Well,
fuck another bump in the road, move along, turn your head pink, and get going.
It's better than Super Soul Sundays, okay? So,
also, I had a guest who canceled, and so no,
I'm actually not kidding. Like,
no, I know, I'm kidding. I wanted to. I was wanting to do this.
Well, thank you, Mo.
I had a guest who had 3 brain cancers who canceled.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
well,
but they had 3 heads. It's a 3-headed dinosaur.
That's really shitty odds.
Yeah, I
3 and 1.
3 out of 3. What are you gonna say,
so I basically the scary part came right where they were like, and the pathology is back, and then you meet with like an oncologist and a radiologist, and they basically that's when they tell you like you got the cancer, right? You know, because
it's an old Jewish woman. She comes in
and she's like, the cancer.
Boy, yeah. Whoa, do I have a bagel to tell you?
Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much it. Except that it's like a young Asian surgical radiation resident who comes in and is like, so basically, it's all a blur. I have like a lot of distinct memories of this, but basically when it sunk in was they were like, do you want to have children?
Right.
Because if you do... we recommend that you freeze your
I remember when you guys were doing that. You guys were...
yeah, we did. We were...
making eggs.
It was very serious. So they
because the chemo can leave you infertile somehow or something?
Chemo and radiation, they don't know, but it wreaks havoc on your entire system and in particular your reproductive system. And it can basically just make it like...
So you have frozen your eggs? Or you guys froze your embryos?
Froze embryos.
Because now... My fiance now is 35. Mm-hmm. We're going to freeze eggs. That's what we're going to talk about.
Does she need drugs? Because I have extra. Very expensive.
I'll ask.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind if she dyed her pink, to be honest. Yeah, so she's been talking about maybe freezing eggs just so we don't have to like, you know.
Yeah, and it's a really amazing option. Like it wouldn't have ever crossed my mind. Like
You're young. Where are we, like 30 or something?
31.
Youngster.
But thank you.
The pink takes off a year.
Yeah, it really does, right? Mm-hmm. I'm so glad I did this. They were like, this is what you should do. I got a grant from Livestrong because of my diagnosis to be able to do this for less than the cost of a down payment on a house because people don't cover it.
Right.
Looking at you, USA. Just get this shit together for female reproductive rights.
I mean,
like, what the fuck?
Oh, they paid for the egg thing.
They paid for the fertility.
So wait, your drug wouldn't pay for that?
Your insurance? No insurance. They look up most insurance plans. Unless you have
That's some bullshit.
Unless you have like the most progressive, like incredibly expensive bougie health insurance, they don't cover fertility. That's not a medical necessity. They're like, well, you don't have to have kids. Right. They don't deem that a medical necessity. Huh. So I had to pay
like with sexual medicine too. I know because my fiance, she does that. She said a lot of people like they won't cover the ability to have sex.
Right. They're like, well, that's for pleasure. It's like, and you're like,
well, a health thing.
It's a function of the human body that is like actually really essential to like you're having a healthy reproductive system is super important for your overall general health.
Gotta get hard, gotta get wet. Gotta get hard, gotta get wet.
100%.
Every time I wake up in the morning, my mama's texting me, and it's always gotta get hard, gotta get wet. Have a good day. Love your mother.
Is that what your mom was texting you when we were getting ready?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She will text me about 3 or 4 times a day. I understand where it's coming from, but I don't. It's a bit much.
Parents,
if I'm being honest.
That's amazing. Wow.
I don't know where we were talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, I have 7 frozen children.
Oh, yeah, 7 frozen children. You want all of them?
No.
Okay.
I might put them. I don't know. I mean, I wish I could like say I have them like in my fridge. Like I'm keeping a watch. I imagine them in like a cooler somewhere in like North Hollywood, just with like our names on them.
Just hanging out with somebody else's eggs.
We got really lucky. We were very lucky that it was so successful. But yeah.
So how many kids do you want to have?
I feel like 2 is a really good number.
2 is good.
So then they can like hang out with each other and like keep each other occupied.
Yeah.
And then there's no like third wheel. I had 3 kids in my family. My parents. We had 3, and I felt like the youngest one always felt like kind of the odd man out. And
yeah, there's usually that's how it works, because like they have 2, and they're like, oh wow, the third one, but then they need a timeout,
right?
Like the mom's usually doesn't want to do that.
There's a gap,
and then that one's just like, hey, what's going on, guys? Can I hang out? And they're like, you're this fucking
parents
loser.
Are exhausted. The other 2 have already bonded. They're just like, who is this thing?
My brother just had a kid, and I was up there last week, and I was like, this is why the firstborn always does the best. Because they're doting over this kid.
Oh,
everything. Like his self-esteem is going to be so high.
Such a treasure.
Then you get to the second son, and they just don't give a fuck. And then that little dude becomes a comedian
clown
who's talking in an apartment that's boiling hot right now. I mean, and I apologize for that.
That's all right. I feel fine.
You feel good?
I feel breezy. I am the second born as well.
So you're an actress.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're not the special ones, and so we had to just get on up there and put your tap shoes on.
I know. It really is
do the
that.
pom-poms.
I feel like you get some lack of attention, and it just sort of like does something to you.
It does, right? And I was like very shy. So I was like very quiet. So my parents would just kind of be like,
really?
Just like leave me alone.
That really surprised me. You don't
but I was like evil shy. Like I was like,
I could see you being evil.
Like
shy is surprising.
Like strategically quiet. Just like I would just be like creeping around. Like my parents would find me like doing shit in the house, like painting on the wall in the basement. Like I've been doing that. So
you were like
hour.
Damien? You were like the Omen kid?
I don't know that movie. I don't know that reference.
You know Damien the Omen?
What is it?
If I just say it again, does that make you know it? Hold on, I'll play it real quick. See if you can hear it.
I don't like scary movies.
Oh, it's real scary. So Damien was like basically about this guy who has a kid, and then it turns out to be, or they adopt. No, they have a kid, and it turns out to be the devil. So
The Omen.
Listen to this. This is some scary ass music. I'll hold the mic here so people can hear.
When did this come out?
The original was like in the 70s, I think, when they were doing like really scary movies.
Okay.
This is an Allstate commercial, so that's not the movie. This is an Allstate commercial.
You're gonna have to mute this because we can't afford Allstate sponsorship.
So when he discovers that his kid's the devil, this is what's playing. See how scary that is?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
So that would be. Like,
I wasn't that. I wasn't like scary. I was just doing mischievous things, like very low key. Under the radar,
What's the worst thing you ever did as a kid? You cut your hair off as a kid?
Yeah, like my mom was in the other room doing something with my younger brother, and I had like braids in my hair, and I was like, time for a fucking haircut. So I just went to the bathroom and cut the braids off.
How old were you?
I was probably like 4.5 or 5.
That's pretty weird. Like,
well, I was like, I wanted to change my look. I was like, this is cool.
Were you cognizant enough to know those weren't going to go back for like a long time?
No, you're like 4. You're like, well, just see what happens. And then I cut them off and I like brought them to her. Like a way a cat presents like a dead mouse. Yeah, I told you, weird and quirky. That's where I'm at. I've always been that way.
Yeah, that's a funny thing to do. So, what is the worst thing you did as a kid? Did you ever do anything really fucked up?
I didn't do anything really fucked up. Well, worst thing. I think like I have a really epic story about getting in trouble, and I didn't do anything really major, but like it's a pretty serious story.
The guy just fell on that knife?
Pretty much. This is when I was like 13, okay? Which is a tumultuous time for anybody.
Time.
I grew up in the Twin Cities in the suburbs of Minneapolis. Very, very suburban, like many drive-throughs, many like large grocery stores.
You were living that thug life. For
sure.
Yeah.
Lake Minnetonka. See you at the barbecue, guys. So freshman year, I'm not that cool, right? Like
Were you not attractive right away, or did it take you a second to kind of grow into it?
I don't know. I was 13. I was like probably completely flat chested, like I was really into like dance, I was into ballet and like science and like whatever. I wasn't like a cool kid.
Right. Okay.
So anyway, I was in this class. I think it was like a anatomy or chemistry or something. Anyway, we like dissected a cat in that class. It was terrifying. But there was a girl in that class who was very, very cool and very popular. Her name was Heather.
Fuck. Of course.
She was always dating somebody in the football team.
Was her name really Heather?
Yeah, of course. It was.
Heather and Amanda. They're always cool.
I know.
That's the cool. If you want your kid to be cool in high school, boy or girl, name him Heather.
Heather or Amanda. So anyway, she was really cool. I sat next to her in this class, and she was like making weekend plans to hang out with her football player boyfriend and all their friends and stuff like that. And
his name was Cody.
God, I don't remember, but I do remember he had like a very strange haircut. Anyway, he and probably like had several concussions, which is why he talked like that. But
wait, what did he talk like? Hey, I'm Logan.
Heather, sup? Everyone just was like sup.
Yeah.
Back then, you know,
sup.
Like if you were cool, you were like sup. And there was like no answer to that, right? Like if somebody was like, they came up to me, they'd be like sup, and I'd be like, not too much, you know. I'd like respond.
Yeah, those cool kids never put any effort in. That's what was always so frustrating. They just like didn't give a fuck.
Just like floating around the hallways, like kind of whatever, eating like bagels with no cream cheese on them. Like, why would you eat it that way?
They're always doing that.
Anyway, so she invited me to come like sleep over at her house. And
wow, that's pretty cool.
I know, it was really cool. And she was like, we're gonna go to the movies, and I was like, cool, I'll have my mom drop me off, you know, because like you do.
Yeah.
And I had this whole, I had like an overnight bag, and like showed up at her house, and like as soon as I walk in the door, she's upstairs like going, we're not gonna go to the movies, we're gonna go downtown and hang out with blah 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 and blah 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 and whatever. And I was like,
yeah, well, like one of those things where there's like a fucking scheme,
a bait and
it's
switch.
Been worked out,
and like her football player boyfriend like rolled up in the driveway an hour later, and I was like in a panic because I was like, I can't be like, I suddenly feel sick.
No, you gotta go.
I had to go.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wearing,
because this was a big opportunity. You were with the cool kids.
I had braces. I was wearing a Lucky Brand sweatshirt.
You were lucky to be
like,
there.
Very cool, like a studded belt. I was feeling awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, just
big.
Tyra,
just like, it's like getting invited to a hotel with Harvey Weinstein. You don't want to blow it. Go on.
Anyway, so I go with them. We go to someone's house. We were playing like PlayStation for an hour and smoking weed and going somewhere else. And I was just kind of like, you know, I was like, can I have a soda? Like, I'll have a Dr. Pepper, you know, and
these sodas taste weird. Those are beers. Oh, yeah.
This is really frothy.
Happy.
Yeah. And then so night goes by. I'm just like dying to get back home. Like, let's go to sleep and just get home, get safe. And we end up in the Taco Bell drive-through.
Yeah.
Taco Bell parking lot.
Nothing good ever happens there.
Dude. This is when shit really hit the fan. We're driving through. They're like, do you guys want something? And I'm like, I have a chalupa. Like, I just was like, I have to get home.
Yeah.
And
was this boyfriend, how old was he? If you guys are 13, he's what?
He was like a junior.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
That's a gap. That's a big gap.
That's a big fucking gap.
I didn't know anything at that time. I was like just 13.
In retrospect, it's weird, but there were so many seniors dating freshmen in high school, and it seemed like just normal.
I did date a senior.
Really?
Was he a senior? He was a junior. I dated a junior when I was a freshman. This was after I got broken in from the cool kids.
You were hot. You were hot as a 13-year-old. You're being
I dated like band kids.
Okay, maybe not.
Yeah. Well, not band, but like garage band.
Oh, okay.
So I would like
those
sell their
cool.
merch.
Oh, okay.
I was merch girl.
Oh man, I always wanted to be one of those kids in high school.
Yeah, they were cool. But there was like a lot
What was their band name?
Stalemate.
Perfect high school. Dude, there's some things that are just lame as fuck. And it's always the name of high school bands.
Yeah.
And if anybody I wrote a book in college, a novel.
You wrote a novel? I'm sorry.
I did. I wrote a novel in college. It was called
a novel.
Midnight Delirium. Fucking hacky.
Sounds
dumb.
like a beer. Sounds like a really nice crafted beer.
It actually does.
Sounds delicious.
But it's just like there's certain things that like you just have to be a pretentious little fuck at that age.
I know. Anyway, so
Taco Bell drive-through.
Taco Bell drive-through. We're there. There's a car in front of us that's taking forever. And the two buffoons in the front seat are like, fuck these guys. Like, what are they ordering? 1,000 tacos or whatever. And they're like, let's fuck them up.
Right.
So they're
That's
like,
what you got to do.
They like swerve around them and come back around in the back. And the guys are like in the car in front of us are like freaking out. All I know is the one guy, the boyfriend, has a BB gun in the front seat, and it looks like a handgun.
This is not going anywhere good.
Takes it out, shows it off, puts it back in the car, yells at the driver, like, open the trunk. They get out, grab baseball bats, and start running after this other car.
What was their plan? These are the guys you're hanging out with?
Yeah, and I'm in the backseat with Heather, and Heather's like, oh my God. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, we have to get out of here, right? Because these guys are breaking the law.
So your guys wave a gun.
They wave a BB gun. It looks like a gun.
And you're in Minneapolis, so probably a lot of people have guns, right? That's probably gun country.
Look, I know nothing at this time. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So they're running after this car. Next thing you know, they like jump back in the car. They're like, oh my God, we gotta go. We drive a block and 6 cop cars come and surround the vehicle. And I'm in the back with my braces and my Lucky Brand sweatshirt. Just being
and your parents think you're at a movie.
They think I'm at a movie.
Right. What movie was it?
I don't remember. I was like,
I bet it was like Ninja Turtles or something.
Everything, only important things were remembered this night, right? Because I'm fucking terrified. And I'm like, this is going to go on my permanent record. Like, I'm totally screwed.
I'm not going to get into college.
Pretty much. Like, my life flashed before my eyes. They pull us every single one of us out of the car at gunpoint, make us walk backwards, put our hands on our head.
Gunpoint?
They think we have a gun. They think there's a gun in the car.
Like there's like literally you get out like the end of like a heist movie.
Yes.
And like this is your moment where you're gonna like make a statement and get blasted.
I'm walking backwards with my hands on my head. I'm like getting sweaty talking about this. It was like fucking terrifying for a 13-year-old. I've never done anything wrong. I was like I was in student council.
Yeah.
You know? Right. I was like, so they go I
haven't even had my period yet.
Pretty much. I was like, I just got it. Anyway, so they put me in my own squad car, cuff me, put me in the squad car. I'm in the back going just like, oh my God, my life is over. And then somebody comes in the car and asks me to make a statement, an officer, and it's my fucking DARE officer. There's only so many
Right.
DARE officer is like, and I'm
Wait, the guy who came into your school to teach you about drugs?
Yes.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Drug education.
Yeah, Emily, thank you for not listening to anything I told you.
I was just like, my statement was probably just like, I'm honestly like so terrified right now. And like, well, and like, I hope you don't tell my parents that I'm like in trouble. And it just was
he's like, oh, we're telling your parents.
Dude, I mean, it was terrifying. My parents had to pick me up at the police station. Of course I reeked like cigarette. I'd never smoked cigarette. Like I was so uninterested in that
stuff. Had you been drinking?
No.
So you really weren't doing anything?
I really wasn't. It was like the very beginning of my freshman year. I was just totally not. I had just come back from ballet camp. I was like that kid.
You should not have been there.
No. So anyway.
I love this story though, because this is a classic story of like trying to climb up the cool ladder too soon.
I learned it really fast. And I'm glad I did, because it was like totally, I was like, these fucking losers, like this guy's going to be in jail before we graduate, you know?
So what had they done? Had they like hit the car with a bat or something?
They had basically I think the car in front of us called the cops and was like, somebody is threatening us with a gun at the Taco Bell on whatever, County Road 9. And
that's probably a call you get like every night in America. Some Taco Bell is reporting that.
Dude, you don't want to go to Taco Bell in the night, okay?
Right,
just because it's open 24 hours does not mean that you should go.
And everybody knows that. You should only be there during the day. While the daylights. It's like a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how vampires work?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But so that's basically like the worst thing that happened to me.
And so what happened to the guy? Did they get arrested?
I think they got suspended from school. I don't know. Basically, my parents, I might as well have like shit my own pants. And when I went home, like my parents could tell that I was so terrified and I felt so awful. And the reason, clearly they could see that the reason why I was there in the first place was because these kids were really cool and I was just like trying to fit in.
But see, what if you had been drunk or something or on, acid or high? Like that's when shit can get really bad. You know what I mean? Because then there's guns on you.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, all I can say is like, I wasn't that kid. Like if somebody had pulled out like some drugs, I would have been like, I would have found a payphone. This was pre-cell phones. There was no way for me to contact my mom and be like, hey, I need you to come and get me.
This was like, I
didn't have.
This was like 96 maybe? No.
It was 2000.
Okay.
Like 2000.
Yeah.
2001.
Because there was that one weird period where like families would have one cell phone.
Yeah.
Like when I graduated high school, we had one giant cell phone, and if you were going like a long trip, you could take that phone, but you could like really you should only use it for emergencies.
I mean, those were expensive. Yeah. My parents just didn't get us phones. Like we just didn't have them till we were driving. And they were like, "Oh, you should have a phone just in case."
You know what? You know it's like a crazy law. So now, if you had been part of like, say you had driven with those people to go do a crime, like you were going to go like hit a car with a bat or something, and one of those guys shot and killed somebody. In a lot of places, I think like Texas and all the places, that's you are convicted of murder,
accomplice,
not accomplice, murder.
Really,
it's capital murder because anyone who's part of a crime, they say, even if they weren't planning to kill somebody.
I mean, Mo, you're making me go back to play that. Thank God, Thank God. Yeah. I was just like, I just want the border fries to go.
Did you get the food at least?
No, they drove. I was so hungry. We didn't even eat dinner. Like, this is just, it's just bad parenting, right? Like, Heather's mom should have been like, where are you guys going?
I had a traumatic experience at a Taco Bell in high school, too, really? Honestly. It wasn't as dramatic, but it was New Year's. I'd gone to a new school that year, and me and my brother had both gone to a new school, so neither of us had any friends.
Yeah,
kind of New Year's came along, we had no party to go to.
Yeah.
And we were driving around. We heard like rumors of parties, and we were driving around trying to find a party. Our parents were at a party, so we kind of even went there for a while. It was pathetic. It was just a very pathetic night. We're on our way to a party that of course we didn't know where it was. We ended up going to the Taco Bell drive-thru, and while we're in the drive-thru, we realized it just became the next year. And they fucked up my order.
Oh.
So the first thing that happened to me the next year was I didn't get that. You got
a fucked up order from Taco. You didn't get the gordita the way you asked.
I didn't get that Mexican pizza.
God damn it.
I never did.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get shot in high school.
Yeah, me too. That would have been really bad. And also glad I didn't get suspended because
you have pink shoes on too.
I know.
See, I love that. Look at you having fun.
Hey, you know
Embracing it.
I'm doing great.
You
life is good.
Yeah.
Really.
You had a wonderful husband.
Wonderful. We got the cat. So cool.
The world's fattest cat.
I put him in an audition tape recently, and he did really well.
If that cat booked something and I haven't in years, I'm going to be really angry.
Same. I would work with him again, though.
The cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
You really like gave me something to work with.
Was he playing a cat?
He was playing a lizard.
Oh, well, that's a lot of range. If he was playing a lizard, I'm very impressed.
I made his costume.
He's kind of lizard-like, your cat, though, because he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he's very docile. He's like...
Yeah. It's like a snake.
He's looking at you with judgment.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming over and telling the story. So now what's the point? You're on chemo now.
Yeah, I got to do the chemo cycles.
So what is that? How do you feel being on that? Like physically?
I take them for like a short period of time and like a high dose, and then I have like several weeks to recover, and I do that like kind of monthly for a year.
So you don't take, it's not like a pill you take every day?
I do take it in pill form, but it's like on and then off.
Okay.
So it's like your body, because chemo is basically poison that's like strategically going in, whatever. Like it's really like your goal is just like to not die while you're on it, because it's like really bad. You can get infections and stuff like that.
That's generally your goal all the time.
All the time, but like
the main goal you should have when you wake up is don't die.
If like cancer was a video game, this would just be like, I don't know, like flaming flame balls like coming at you. You just have to like jump over them, you know?
Yeah. You're saying that the symptoms of the chemo and stuff?
No, just kind of like the act. So you take it in the long term, right? So you take it and then your body has to like regenerate cells, and then you take it again, because you can't take it for if you can't take it for a really long time, because your body will just be like, no.
Is there any like reaction you've had to all this that you didn't expect? Like, is there?
I mean, I would say that like literally everything has been unexpected.
Right. Thank you. Right. That was a stupid question.
I wasn't like, oh, this is what a skull. Like, I have 13 screws in my skull. First of all, didn't know that till I
have 13 screws.
Yes.
So you can't go through. You can't fly without.
I can. They're titanium. Apparently, they're like so
won't
small.
Go off?
They're like
belt
little
setting shit off in your fucking brain skull.
No problem.
Do you feel like you're part robot now?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's an accurate assessment.
Yeah, and
have you gained any insight? Is there anything wise you learned? You know, I had to be silent for 3 weeks during that vocal cord surgery. I learned nothing and had no epiphany about anything. I was just bored.
God, Mom, sorry. I'm bored.
Very shallow.
I mean, illnesses like that are very boring, right? Like when you're kind of like flying at half mast, like it's very boring, right? So that's why you see me running all the time and like going out and doing shit, because I can't be tied down. I get so bored that I make a lizard costume for my cat. You know, like this is where we're at.
This is the darkest thing you said.
All this
brain cancer stuff has not been dark. You making a lizard costume for your cat is dark. That's where it starts.
It's fucking dark, right? Just at home, just like, well, this would be nice for the neck, you know. I don't know.
I like that you're knitting it like it's like an old-timey sort of yarn.
Yeah. I mean, look, the thing is, I very much before all this happened, and still to an extent, I was a very energetic, go-getter-y kind of person. And I moved at 1,000 miles an hour. And I was always doing 12 different things at the same time. And I would say that, you know, it sounds cliche, but like this has slowed me down to the point where like I really do enjoy the small things. And that's why I've been able to stay so positive is I'm like, well, first of all, I could be dead very easily. You know, if not have had that happen before, but like moving forward, none of us knows, you know,
Right.
I have a thing that like is super dangerous and might be the thing that kills me, but like you could be eating a donut getting struck by lightning.
Dude, that's
anytime,
so
you know?
true. Like I fucking have a cousin who got Parkinson's, you know, and he's like older and everyone in the family felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
And then he's still alive, not fine, but he's still alive.
Yeah.
And I have an uncle who died. And he was fine when the guy got Parkinson's. He didn't even think about it.
Yeah. I mean, and there's, you know, look, we're all going to die and you don't get to pick how you do.
Show, don't do heroin. No, I'm kidding. He didn't do heroin. I was kidding. That'd be funny.
Unless it's prescribed.
That'd be funny if I made it sound like it could happen to anyone. He did heroin while skydiving. So don't do it. You're right. I mean, you have to. Yeah, like we were saying in the beginning, it's a fucking horror. It's a
crapshoot,
man. A horrifying endeavor.
Yeah, and you have to decide. Look, like what am I doing? Am I going to waste my time? I have this year to. This is just a thing I have to do. I'm like doing the most important job of my life right now, like staying alive.
Yeah.
In the face of death, I'm staying alive. And that is like literally the most important job I've ever had. And
do you just interrupt for a second? But when you were finding out about this, we have a woman in our building who has quit smoking, but she used to smoke 87 cigarettes a day.
I know.
Right in front of your apartment. Was there ever a moment where you're like, this is bullshit? What the fuck? I jog. I don't smoke. I barely drink.
Yeah.
This woman smokes cigarettes, and God bless her. I love her. She doesn't smoke anymore, thank God. But like, I always thought like that's bizarre, like the way life works out. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's really fucked up, Mo. Like, if you want to know what like the darkest episode of all this is, it's like it's the most despair and the most cruel, universal gesture that you could think of. Like I have absolutely had my moments where I'm like, I just want to fucking punch shit and throw shit and find something to blame for this.
Right.
But I can't.
Have you thought of the Jews? That's worked in the past.
Does that work?
A lot of societies have felt that blaming the Jews it can be quite cathartic.
That would literally
Your
just mean me
half
like,
Jewish, so do that.
I know. Well, you can't blame him because he's literally very important to me right now.
Right.
I mean, not that he wasn't before, but he will, you know, continue to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you done to do with the anger? Like, have you done a boxing class or you broken bottles or anything like
that? It's sort of like being physical, like running is really helpful. Like I love like a rage run, like that's super helpful. I found that like really genuinely, like just getting mad about it, like, and just phoning a friend or like going to therapy and just like fucking raging about it is like you have to do that. Like there's no way to stifle that. It doesn't go anywhere. It just sits in your body.
Because like what you just said is like, it is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. I won the lottery, you know? And there's no cause. So they're like, oh, well, you just, you know, you had a rogue cell. And
that's how, when I was telling everybody about this, and I still talk about it, you know, I'm always like, yeah, it's like she's like the most beautiful, healthy, vivacious. I always use that word, but I describe. And like the only person in our building I ever see jog. Like she's like the youngest, prettiest, healthiest looking, most talented person in the building. Oh yeah, and then there's this one little fucking thing. I'm
just gonna come up and hang out with you and have you like stroke my ego when I feel sad.
But I mean, it's just a crazy.
I look. The other thing is like give yourself something to look forward to, and I think that this is good advice.
Whether and for you, that's my podcast, and I appreciate that you listen to every episode.
I do. I've heard every one where you did the thing with the.
Right.
It's really
that
good.
Was a good one.
I think no matter what's going on with you in your life, whether you have like something really difficult that you're facing or not, giving yourself a break and something to look forward to on a consistent basis is super healthy, right? So like for me, as soon as this came into the picture, Adam and I like made a pact. We were like, we're always going to keep something that we are excited about on the calendar because it's the blink of an eye that like that anger and that resentment just turns into depression. And the one thing that I really hate I hate with a burning passion is feeling depressed. I don't like it. It makes me feel so disgusting, and I just want to go out there and live my life. Like that's all I want to do. And it's so debilitating when that like comes over you. And so my goal has just been to like feel the feels, but like keep myself going. Just keep going. Because I'm not going to die tomorrow. You know, I'm not, you know, this isn't going anywhere. I mean, it will. It will look different in a year when I'm done with chemo. It will look different, you know, 10 years from now if all my scans come back clean. Like it'll just be a part of the story of my life. But I don't want my life to like pause while I'm dealing with it.
Yeah. 100%.
And I want to continue to have fucking fun because that's how I've always lived my life.
Yeah.
So we're going,
and we're fuck like, it. It ain't going to win. It ain't going to take that core part of your personality from you.
And when you're at battle, like between you and yourself, you're always going to be the winner no matter, you know what I mean? Like there's only two of you. So most of the battle of a person with cancer is between themselves and their physical being, and then within your sense of self and your emotional being, you know? And that's the battle. So I can fucking win that. I'm stronger than me, you know?
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. I mean, that first of all, it's, you know, you're much bigger than, it's like max, what, this big, small? I mean, you can fuck that shit up.
Yeah. Well, that's like killing it's pretty much gone at this point. Yeah, that guy he's in a jar.
Yeah. He's in a jar. And he's probably fucking like, dude.
I hope he serves
he's
like.
Probably fucking bored in that jar.
I really hope he's like doing good work for the brain tumor community. That was my wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on the podcast,
No problem.
Like I said, I'm excited about see all the new wigs that are coming.
Oh my God, it's gonna be.
I hope cornrows. I hope you got a cornrows wig or like a.
So, I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah. I'm a recurring character on your podcast, so
yeah, we'll
see you next time.
Next time you get like maybe a Tekashi 6ix9ine rainbow wig would be nice.
Excuse me.
You're really not hip. We'll say that. This? You should know who this is. You don't know who Tekashi 6ix9ine is? I'll just show you this and we'll leave.
I think you're spending a lot of time on the internet.
I look at a lot of rappers. I like rap.
I also like...
This guy. He's in jail.
Yeah. Well, he's scary.
I would like you to kind of cultivate that look if you could. Maybe not.
I don't know if it would go with my like coloring.
Okay. Well, it's worth a shot.